Hey, what's up, friends? It's Moses here from Driver Success. I hope you guys are doing well. As you can tell, I'm with my girls. We are just gonna get our packages so that they ship out today. I think we have like 4 shipping out today.
Daddy, it's your first time. It's your first time.
I'm gonna drop off my packages. Usually when I'm going to work on Mondays and on Fridays, I stop by this post office right here to drop off the packages that I have before I head to work. It's a small post office, but usually it's crowded, but today looks like they don't have a lot of people here. But I also like the lady that services this place. This time I didn't have to wait in line because the place where I could just drop off the packages was open. Now there are some post offices where you don't want to do that, because if you just drop them off, they may not scan them in. But this particular post office, they scan the packages every day. So I like that they are efficient. That's why I feel okay dropping them off, because I have to make sure that they are scanned in. Because the way the business is set up, I have to, between Monday and Friday, I have to ship out whatever orders I get, so that I'm able to fulfill the one shipment requirement that I have set up for myself. 1 day ship out requirement. So on to work I go. Right now the time is 1:44, so I'm right in good time. Whenever I'm on this trip, I have a particular rest area where I stop by to use the restroom. Actually, I think it's the only rest area available. But usually the way I plan it is that's where I stop to use the restroom. And it's closer by the destination where I'm going. That guy we both came from the freeway, but he drove so fast and got on my side so that he can pass me. It's funny how some of these guys drive. Anyway, so I'm gonna stop by the Loves here so I can use the restroom. I guess I drank a lot of coffee and water. Okay, let me go through and just pass through. That way, if anybody wants to get gas, they can still get gas. And I'm not gonna be here for long. Alright, it's time to get back on the road. I was fast enough. I did not hold up anybody in the back. Now let's get back on the road. I could have passed there, but the reason why I didn't want passing there is because sometimes getting on the road there can be a challenge. So I'm gonna use this exit right here. Using this place than the front road. That front road right there, sometimes you have a lot of traffic coming through. It takes a while to get back on. So this morning I was listening to a sermon, right? I expected this guy to come in, but he was kind of patient. So this morning I was listening to a sermon, and the pastor who was preaching was preaching in response to like a question. I think he like people were asking him about the end times, like if we are now living in the end times. And while I was listening to that, I remembered the story of Noah. And it's funny, like when you are a young kid and you hear stories, they leave such an impression. It's almost like you cannot forget the stories you had when you were a young kid. And sometimes even when you grow up, you still kind of have, you know, like that image of how you first heard the story. So for me, I remember like growing up, when I think when I first heard about the story about Noah, I remember we had a book, a Bible. I think it was called like Bible Stories for Children or something like that. It was all the stories of the Bible, but you know, like for children. And I remember seeing it had also pictures. So I remember seeing the pictures of, you know, like Noah, and then hearing, you know, like Sunday school teachers tell us about how Noah would tell the people, and the people were laughing at him, and nobody believed him. You know, like I was just thinking about that, remembering that these guys were having a good time, and they didn't know that in a few days they were going to perish, because they were enjoying life. There was nothing that looked to them like the world was going to end. They had no clue. They were living in their last days. So as I was listening to this pastor, you know, like preach and teach about it, it kind of like reminded me of that time. And I realized, you know, it's very easy for us to live without knowing that, you know what, the end is really, really closer than you think it is. And actually he was saying that, you know, like every generation has always thought that, you know, like they are living in the last days. Every generation, that's what they think. And then he was, like talking about some of the things that are really taking place right now that should make you, like think and say that maybe these are the last days. But I think it's also important to realize that it doesn't have to be the last days of the world, but for you to understand that even though it may not be the last days of the world, it could be your last day. Maybe you are living in your personal last days. So it doesn't matter whether it's the world that is coming to the end, it may be your life that is coming to the end. In other words, as children of God, we have to live with that awareness. We have to live with that understanding that it doesn't matter whether it's the last days in relationship to the world ending. It could be the last days for you, because you don't know what is going to happen to you today. You don't know what is going to happen to you tomorrow, next week, because you have no idea when your time is. So there are people that are dying today. Right now as I speak, there are people that are dying. And the question is, did they think about it? Did they think about the rest of their lives? Because the truth is, in this life that we have right now, it's just like a dot when you compare it to eternity. So it's not so much about the end of the world, but it's living in the understanding that this life we have at the moment is so small compared to what we are going to live, like the eternity. So I guess the question becomes is, how do you think about your life? And I know there are some of you out there that may not think of it as, some people do not believe in God. Some people say, oh, that isn't going to happen. But again, I go back to that story that I was thinking about. When those people that were in Noah's time, they didn't know what life was going to be like. They had no clue of how things were going to change. So it's important, I think, to think about your life and ask yourself a question. What if my life was to end today? And if you don't believe God, then the question is, what if there is really a God? I think it's a fair question for you to ask yourself that if you don't believe God. And if you don't, then you can ask Him and tell Him, hey, this guy Moses is talking about you. I don't believe in you, but if you are true, if you really exist, can you help me know you? Can you help me know you? He will. I guarantee you, if you are doing it with a sincere heart, He will. That's the kind of Father I have. Anyway, I hope you take time to think about it. Right now it's 7 minutes to 6 o'clock. I'm not sure when my appointment is supposed to be. I think 6 o'clock. I think it's either 6 or 6:30. But I'm gonna be, we usually use door number 2, so I'm gonna be between these two trailers. So let me just set it up like this. So the goal is for me to have my trailer pointing in the hole. This has been the fastest they've unloaded me in this place. It has taken him less than 30 minutes to get me unloaded. And as you saw, that other JBR driver, that's the one he's going to unload. And then there's this guy right here waiting for him. And he was telling me, the gentleman that is unloading us, that he's out of space, like he doesn't have space. And I think there's another JB Hunt that he's expecting. So I was surprised when he unloaded me that fast. That was really, really cool. I think that's the fastest here that they've unloaded me. Got myself a cup of coffee, so time to head to my pickup. My pickup is along the way. By the way, what's my appointment time? Oh, right now it's coming to 7 o'clock. My appointment time is 8 o'clock. $7:45. I made it. This is my second time coming to this place. The first time I came here, I had no clue where to go. I was all over the place. But actually, it's in the back. I think like they have a bunch of companies using the building, maybe like 3 or 4 of them, but the one that I need is in the back. Okay, so it turns out they're gonna have to reject me. I can't take this load because I have a hole in my trailer. So because of this right here, the trailer is old, so they won't be able to load me in this trailer. So according to the customer, if I get a good container, they'll be able to load me tonight. Of course, now my time, this customer is kind of far away from other customers. I've contacted dispatch. They really haven't helped me a lot because the places they are sending me out to try and get an empty are kind of far, which I understand. But the other question is, will those customers let me switch out the container? I'm not sure about that. So at this point, it's something that I'm just gonna try and see. kind of try to go somewhere else first that I think is closer than where they are sending me. I don't know how this is gonna work out, but I'm gonna do my best to try and see if I can get this load without running out of time. Let's see.